Closer to home, the Alberta Air Show will kick off this weekend by making its first stop right here in the city. Adel Ahmed had a chance to chat with Shane Getson to get a preview.
The 2022 Alberta Air Tour will be taking place this Saturday, June the 4th, here in the city of Lloydminster at the Municipal Airport. And I'm now joined by Shane Getson, MLA of Lac Ste. Anne, who's going to be leading the event. So Shane, thanks so much for coming on today and having a chat with me to talk more about it.
Well, thank you very much for your interest in the tour, and it's a pleasure to be here.
So for those who don't know too much about the Alberta Air Tour, can you just give an insight into what that is all about?
Well, it started off back in 2019 because everything was shut down because of COVID. Us personal pilots, so general aviation, we were still allowed to pretty much conduct business as usual. So what we wanted to do is twofold: bring some smiles to faces out there to people because they could get out to an open air venue and see some airplanes and interact. The second one, shamelessly, was to promote aerospace and aviation. So again, airplanes are cool. It was to give something back to the communities. And then the second spin, or third spin, I should say, we put onto it was to garner support from the communities in so much as to have them competing with the community down the road. So as an example, we have a grudge match between Edmonton and Calgary. There's some of those rivalries in some of the areas. And when I pitched them on the idea, it was, okay, if I'm bringing you 60 to 80 new people to your area, what would you do to put your best foot forward, both on the residential side, some of your community support services, what you have for business, chambers of commerce, tourism at its finest? Why would we want to come back? And moreover, why would they want to stay there? And by the way, not go to the place down the road. So that friendly competition fired up something that was, quite frankly, magical. And then we started also to look at supporting airports that needed some TLC. And then like Lloydminster, to showcase ones that have got a gold star, that are literally above the standard and that others should emulate to be like.
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Air Tour will be making its first stop here in the city of Lloydminster. Can you just tell me a little bit as to why Lloydminster was chosen as that first stop specifically?
Well, it's special, near and dear to my heart. I came down December 5th and was on a Sean Newman podcast. Ended up getting weathered in, so we ran out of daylight. The gig in television, radio. Sometimes the technical difficulties push out your interviews. What happened there was the guys in the field at Border Aviation, absolute epitome of Alberta hospitality. They made a place for me in their hangar, so when it turned minus 25 the next morning, I didn't have an ice frozen airplane. So when I started regaling that story to other folks, they just said the same thing. Lloydminster is phenomenal. It's one of those most underrated airports. You have a beautiful terminal building there. You can get, regular scheduled services going in and out. It's an oil town. You have industry behind it. You have the ag. Just absolutely wonderful. And that's why it became really close and dear to our heart on the first stop, quite frankly, was to bring that attention and to give a chance to give back to Lloyd for the good old Alberta hospitality.
I understand that you're really big into the aerospace and aviation industry and whatnot. So can you just tell me a little bit about when did that first strike interest for you?
Well, probably the first time when I was about 5 years old, picking rocks in the field and looking up at an airplane fly overhead, thinking that would be fun to do. So there's that hook. I mean, obviously with that, just as a little guy looking up, and then somebody took me under their wing, all pun intended, and said, here, you can do these things and you can get your aircraft. And as a farm kid, that sometimes seemed really without a reach. We didn't come from a very rich family or anything at all. It was, pretty modest. But I kept getting exposed to aircraft aviation. That community was very supporting. And the long and the short of it, it took me a long time to get my license because I was busy with life and work and everything else, but I got it. And I'll tell you what, there is no better place to be is in the air on God's doorstep, looking over our province. It's some of the most beautiful country that you've ever seen to get you hooked on aviation. And the other one too is because we live in such a big territory and province, I can shorten up my trips and my distances and my time to get out and see folks, and quite frankly, to get back home, where you just can't do that with vehicles or to go through commercial air travel. So I can shamelessly jump in my plane, be in Calgary from Lloydminster within an hour, go to my meetings, and then pop back home on the other side of Edmonton. And I've only killed about 2.5, 3 hours of traveling at most versus driving all day long.
Well, Shane, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I truly appreciate it. And I will hope to see you there on Saturday.
Perfect. Thanks a bunch. Take care.
As we head into summer, the Lloyd X is looking to hire close to 150 people to help make the 2022 fair a reality. Well, the Lloydex Fair is coming back here to Lloydminster on July 13th to the 16th. It's going to be an exciting way to kick off the summer here in the border city. But before we can have a fair, the Lloydex is looking to hire some people to help work various different roles, and they're hosting a job fair next Tuesday. So to talk a little bit more about this, I'm joined today by Jackie Tomeyer. She's a general manager of the Lloydex. Jackie, first of all, it's great to have you here. Take us through this job fair you guys are hosting.
We're excited to have the fair back after 2 years. We have a lot of great events planned, you know, the midway, and there's chuck wagon races and grandstand concerts, ag shows, trade show, yard thrill shows. So we need a lot of temporary seasonal workers to work our fair, up to about 150 different individuals to do different variety of jobs at the fair. Anything from parking to garbage cleanup, to admissions, Buck the Bronco. We need a mascot. So yeah, we need lots of different opportunities to make come in and experience the fair from the back end and have some fun.
All right, so this is happening on June 7th. It's going from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock. So that's on the Tuesday. What kind of people are you looking for, and what should people make sure that they bring?
We are looking for anyone who wants to work a few hours during that July Fair Week. Anyone 14 and above can apply. We have lots of different variety of jobs available. So when they come, we need their social insurance number, their contact information, and just an idea of what job preference they would like to do. When people come to the grounds here to apply, we will get them to rank and order their job preference. So, you know, whether it's food services or admission tickets or grounds work, and then we'll be making some decisions about our applicants after that.
Now, it's been a long 2 years, and I know the Lloydex has been doing kind of a scaled down fair and stuff through COVID, but what's it like to be back this summer, having a full fair, and then also a lot of other events happening around this time of year and into the fall?
It feels like we're hitting the ground running, and every day is something different. And, you know, whether we're working on sponsorship or security or the entertainment, there's a lot of moving parts to holding events in the summertime. And we are so excited to be back planning those events. We don't like it when it's quiet around here, and we're doing our best to make sure we have a really good summer. You know, we have Musical Ride coming, we have Rib Fest coming, we have, you know, the North American Chuck Wagon Championship Fair, and then our Nissan CPCA finals in August, and many, many little events in between all those. So it feels really good for our team to be back busy, the phone's ringing, and everybody working hard again.
And you transitioned to the general manager role in the midst of COVID too, so it must be nice to have things coming back to normal.
Yes, absolutely. It's we're a small team here. We only have about 22 full-time employees, and then up to 150 seasonal temporary employees. So, we're a very close-knit group that loves to put on these events for Lloydminster.
And kicking off the fair week, we're also going to be having the parade. And are people able to register for that?
Yeah, you betcha. I think the entry form is up on our website, or will be shortly. And the theme this year for the fair and the parade is Let's Ride. Let's ride out of this last 2 years and get going again. So yeah, we're hoping to have a huge parade. We have a lot of these young people, 3, 4, 5-year-olds that have never seen a parade. They don't remember a midway. They don't remember a grandstand show. So we're excited to see their faces light up as we bring these things to Lloyd.
Awesome. It's going to be a great, exciting kickoff to summer. And thanks for taking some time to talk with us about all of this, Jackie.
Thank you so much.
And now it's time for this week's edition of Retrospect. Here's Blake Nath.
This week in Retrospect, counterfeit coins at car washes. Back in '92, the RCMP cracked down on illegal loonies.
The guy just said that it didn't work in the machines, and then my boss came back and pointed it out that it was counterfeit.
Did you first of the fake coins found in Lloydminster turned up at a do-it-yourself car wash last night. They're very similar in appearance, but there are differing characteristics.
Unless you're really looking at them, it is very difficult to tell.
Constable Dave Kilby of Elk Point found one of the bogus bucks in his own pocket this week.
Our belief at this point in time is that the coins are an overflow from the city. We do not have any belief at this point that they're coming from this area. We believe that they're from an overflow from the city, people visiting the city, getting caught up in their shopping and stuff. And you know, when you look at the coins, you have to really look at them to distinct the two apart from each other.
Distinguishing a fake coin from the real thing requires close examination.
Is that the RRC on the counterfeit coin is a lot larger than the RRC on the currency coin. Another way of telling them apart on this side is the bill of the loon is detached from the head on the counterfeit coin versus the bill on the loon of the Canadian currency coin.
And checking up on canines and cats. A report from 1997 urges you to make regular vet visits for your furry friends.
Man's best friend. We depend on our dogs and other pets for companionship and security, but they also depend on us to keep them safe, something local veterinarians say doesn't always happen.
Vaccinations are probably one of the most important things that we can do for our pets. So we have a look at everything from head to tail, start off with their eyes, check and make sure their eyes are working properly, nice and clear.
Berg says yearly checkups and shots are important not just for the health of your pet, but yourself as well, as some illnesses can spread to humans.
In dogs specifically, we do see a lot of parvovirus, which is a viral disease which attacks their intestines and gastrointestinal system. Things like rabies. Not that we see a lot of rabies in this area, but it's more that it can be spread to people and it is a fatal disease.
The Border City vet says they always see a flare-up in the diseases this time of year, due mainly to more pets being outside with a greater risk of exposure to other animals.
We see a very seasonal rise, especially in things like parvovirus. Spring and fall tend to be, you know, we can almost set our watches by it as to when it's gonna start hitting us. Summer is also a time when skunks and bats and things can be around, and that's a time when you could be transmitting rabies as well.
And that's all for this week in Retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
Well, we had quite a nice start to the week weather-wise. For more, here's Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much, Jace. Yes, we're seeing a beautiful start to the week. Right now we are sitting at 16 here in the Border City, and we saw a much sunnier day throughout the day. You know, it started off really nice, and we're even going to be warming up from here on down throughout the week. So get ready, because we're starting to see those summer temperatures slowly moving in here in the Border City, which I think we all were patiently waiting for this whole time, but now it's finally here. And now switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we are seeing those double digits on the map. Most spots are looking at 16 and 17 degrees, as you can see. As we go up a little bit higher up here on this side, they are slightly cooler, just seeing that 16 mark, but as we go down lower, they are at 17. So we are even almost seeing close to that 20-degree mark in most spots. And switching now to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing those double digits as well. Some spots slightly cooler than what we are seeing on the Alberta side. As we go up a little bit higher, they are seeing that 16-17 range. As we go a bit lower to Maidstone, they are at 19 degrees, so Maidstone's almost reached 20 degrees. Macklin is also sitting at 17, and North Battleford is probably the coolest. They're seeing just 14. And for North Battleford right now, from that 14 degrees, they will be cooling down to that 4 mark for their evening low. So they will cool down slightly for their evening low temperature for tonight compared to what we have been seeing last week. But they are still going to be seeing those plus temperatures, so no complaints. And then tomorrow they will be seeing 17, so seeing a warmer day throughout the day, and they will be seeing a mixture of some sun and cloud. Switching out of Cold Lake, they'll be going down to that 4 mark as well, seeing more of a clear night. And then tomorrow they will be seeing kind of the same at 17 degrees. They will be seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. And for us in the border city, we will be seeing the coolest with our evening low at 2 degrees. So we will be cooling down. We were even reaching those double digits for our evening low last week, but at least we are still seeing past the minus point. We aren't seeing the minus temperatures anymore. We won't be seeing too much clouds in sight. And then tomorrow we will be seeing 17. So as I was saying, we will be warming up slightly throughout the week compared to what we have been seeing today. And we will be seeing another sunnier day tomorrow. So get ready because we're going to see some beautiful days coming up this week. And now showing off this beautiful photo submission. Thank you to everyone that submitted some gorgeous weather shots already to our Facebook page. You can continue to do so. I will use them on my weather segments. This one is from Michelle. I love this shot. It is absolutely gorgeous with the lights in the sky. Thank you so much for submitting this one, Michelle. And that's all I got for now. We'll have more coming up after the break.
The NBA Finals will begin this Thursday. With more on the championship matchup, here's Thomas Wildman and Adil Ahmed.
It's been 3 exciting rounds for the NBA playoffs, but now we are down to 2 teams, the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics, for the NBA Finals. We have Adil Ahmed on today to talk to us about the NBA Finals. So thank you so much for being here today with us, Adil. And so talk to me about these 2 teams and their journey, and specifically the Golden State Warriors right now. They are a dynasty team. Their 6th appearance in the NBA Finals in the last 8 years. How does that team, the Splash Brothers specifically, are excellent for a part of the Golden State Warriors. How does that team, that dynasty, do so well, and how did they make it to the finals again this year?
Well, Thomas, you mentioned a great point there. The Splash Brothers, they're back again. Klay Thompson's back in that lineup, and I feel like he's a huge part as to why they are where they are right now. You know, you also got Draymond Green there, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole. There's just a number of players that are on the Warriors that are so effective, and they like to move the ball around a lot. And that's one thing that they've been doing so well for the last number of years, every time they've made it to the finals there. Andrew Wiggins is another guy that's also a huge factor into, you know, the Warriors' success so far this playoffs. You know, he's having a really good factor, just over 18 points in his last 5 games in the playoffs here. And he's, you know, again, a guy that has a little bit of playoff experience, but being around guys like Steph, Klay, and Draymond, you know, it makes him a whole lot better of a player. And I think that's one reason why, you know, the Warriors are who they are. They have a lot of great players, and they can just fit anybody around them, especially around that core of those 3 guys, Steph, Klay, and Dre.
Excellent, excellent. And then the other team, the Boston Celtics, they've been close to making it to the finals for a number of years, but have always fallen short just at that conference finals ceiling. Tell us about how Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics have now gotten past that conference finals ceiling and have now made it into the NBA Finals.
Well, I think the biggest thing this year is that, you know, they had to go through, you know, a lot of superstar players and a lot of really good teams. You know, first round, they went through Brooklyn, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. They swept them in 4 games. And then obviously in the second round, they took down the defending champs in the Milwaukee Bucks. And I feel like the years past of them coming up short has led them to this point, which is, you know, getting to the NBA Finals now, getting through Miami as well recently in 7 games. You know, a lot of those, you know, failures in the past that the Celtics had, I think has set them up for where they are now. And, you know, guys like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year this year in the league, they've all stepped up in a big way. And I think that's something that's going to really cause problems moving forward for the Golden State Warriors, because the Celtics this year were the best defensive team in the entire league. So they could really give the Warriors a run for their money, and it's going to be interesting to see how, you know, these 2 teams match up, because this is a really even matchup in my opinion based on who's guarding who.
And so you've mentioned a little bit about that matchup between the Golden State Warriors and the Celtics defense. Tell me a little bit more about that, Adil. Who do you have winning the NBA Finals this year?
Well, you know what, Thomas? I think that, you know, despite the Celtics having a lack of NBA Finals experience with this group, you know, the Golden State Warriors have 123 games of NBA Finals experience. Meanwhile, the Celtics have 0. But I think the experience that the Warriors have of, you know, having their core back together again since 2019 really is going to give them over the hump. So in my opinion, I think that the Golden State Warriors are going to take this series and they're going to win the NBA Finals in 6 games. That's my ultimate prediction here for this series. You know, the Celtics, you know, even though they got through the hump now and they're in the big round now, you know, the Warriors' experience and, you know, their key players back together again is really what's going to give them the edge in this series.
All right, Adel, you talked about that experience. What about coaching? Is there any parts of the coaching staff on the Golden State Warriors or the Boston Celtics that will be keys to their victory in these finals matchups as well?
Well, I think that Ime Udoka, I hope I'm getting his name right, but the coach for the Celtics, he's in his first year coaching the team, and I feel like just having a new fresh face behind the bench there for the Celtics is another key factor as to how they're going to do in this series specifically. Steve Kerr, he's been there for a number of years now. He's been there since 2015, really, the first year that they got a title in however long. So I don't really see much of a strategy. I feel like each team is going to play their own style of game, and they've gone so far up to this point now. They're not going to change how they're going to play just because they're facing a set of players. Obviously, with matchups, you do have to respect some of those players and how they play, but other than that, I don't see much of a change. I feel like the Celtics coaching staff are going to play their own style, and the Golden State Warriors are going to do the same.
Excellent, excellent. I agree with you on the Warriors winning. I think they're going to do it in 7, though. But thank you so much for all of the insights, Adel. It's an exciting time for the NBA playoffs, and they will start NBA Finals Game 1 on Thursday. So thank you so much.
All right, now it's time to head on over to Shelby Clark, who has another extended look at our weather forecast.
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Now taking an extended look, as you were saying, we will be starting off with our central zone of our provinces with Alberta and Saskatchewan. And on the Alberta side, we've slightly cooled down in some spots compared to what we have been seeing last week, but we are still seeing those double-digit temperatures, even close to the 20-degree mark, so not too bad. 17 in both Edmonton and Whitecourt, while the 16 in Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House, and Jasper. Athabasca is just at 15 degrees, and Edson is slightly cooler, just seeing 13. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are seeing kind of the same temperatures as we are seeing on the Alberta side. So they are kind of in the middle there with North Battleford and Milford, slightly cooler at 13, 14. The rest are kind of matching up with us at 16 and 15 degrees. And Cold Lake is the warmest there, seeing that 17-degree mark. And switching now over to our northern zone, they're still seeing those nice warm temperatures that we weren't really expecting. They've been keeping up this warm streak now as we are heading more into the summer season, which is great to see. On the Saskatchewan side, they are seeing a lot of those double digits, except for South End at that 9-degree mark. 11 up in Stony Rapids, while it is 12 in both Uranium City and down in Flin Flon. 13 in La Ronge, and Wollaston Lake is at 14 degrees, and the rest are slightly warmer, just seeing 15. And switching now back to our Alberta side here, they are seeing slightly warmer temperatures compared to the Saskatchewan side, some almost even reaching that 20-degree mark as well. High level, Peace River and Grand Prairie seeing around 17 and 18 degrees. Fort Chipewyan and Fort McMurray both at 16. And down in Slave Lake, they are seeing slightly cooler, just at 14. Now going over to our southern zone to check them out. They actually are kind of matching with us up in the central zone, so they aren't seeing too warm of temperatures, much warmer than what we are seeing over in the central side. Lethbridge is just at 13, while Calgary is at 14. Banff is slightly cooler, just seeing past that 10-degree mark, and it is 17 in both Medicine Hat and Coronation. And switching back to our Saskatchewan side to kind of check them out, they're kind of matching with us as well, seeing around 15 and 16 degrees in most spots on this side. So even though we are in the southern zone, they do usually see some warmer temperatures. As we are heading more into the summer season, it has been kind of switching up every now and then on a daily basis. So they are kind of matching with us in the central zone. So we all are kind of seeing close to that 20-degree mark. And now going back across the region, seeing what we will expect throughout our evening, I think we won't be too happy temperature-wise. We are going to be cooling down just slightly from what we were seeing last week, as we were slightly moving into those double digits for our evening lows. Now we're kind of cooling back down just to those single marks, but at least we are seeing those plus temperatures, so I think we'll be pretty happy. Murnum and Wainwright will be seeing the coolest with a low of just that 2 mark, kind of matching with us in the border city. Most of these spots, as you can see, we'll just be expecting to see a low of 4, and Meadow Lake and Isla Crosse will be seeing the warmest with a low of 5 and 7 degrees. So even though we will be seeing those single digits, as I was saying, at least we are past that minus point, which of course we really are very much used to for our evening lows. And ending off with our 3-day forecast for here in the border city, we will be seeing those temperatures rise up and heat up throughout the rest of the week. So get ready because we are seeing some beautiful summer days coming up here. Tomorrow we'll be seeing 17 with a mixture of some sun and cloud, 18 on Wednesday with a slight chance of some precipitation, but we will be seeing a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds, and we'll even be reaching that 21 mark on Thursday with a much sunnier day. So get ready, summer season is slowly moving in here. That is another look at your weather forecast. Our Jason Mackey will have more news coming up after the break.
Jerry Duhame is with us today. Jerry has his Just Cruising hat on this time. Jerry, we always talk to you about a number of different things. So this time it's an exciting event coming up with the club on June 18th. Tell me what is planned.
Well, Stacey, thanks for having us. Yes, indeed. It's, after waiting through 2020 without a car show or show and shine, in 2021, we did a mini show and shine on the lots of Westridge and Denham. This is the year to break it all out and to have our super show again. And we're certainly looking forward to a great day on June the 18th.
Do you know how many participants you'll have, or is it something where people just show up that day, or do they have to register ahead of time?
No, they don't register ahead of time. They register anytime between 9 and noon on the day of. We're expecting about 200 guest cars, as well as our own cars. And by cars, that could be anything, car, truck. We've had tractors, we've had seaplanes, we've had just about anything you can imagine. So anything that rolls and has a motor in it, I guess, is more than welcome. And so we hope to have about 250 cars there, which makes it as big a show as you'll find between Edmonton and Saskatoon.
Can you give me an example, Jerry, of some of the specialty vehicles that have been there in the past? Something that, people will be able to come out. It seems like it would be a real treat for people to come and look around at this.
Oh, absolutely. We have original cars that have never been touched, that still have the patina from, when the person found it. We've had cars that have been rebuilt. There was a international, I think it was a Travelall that was like a Jeep thing, and it was built. It was like a 1950s model, and it was just done to the T. It was an awesome vehicle. We have the people who have we call them the tuners. They're the ones that have the smaller cars like the Honda Civics and such like that are all decked out too. So there's something for everyone, really.
And is this an event where it can be hands-on in some cases? Because I know obviously there will be some other car enthusiasts going out. Can they look under the hood and take a look inside the vehicles in some cases?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Most of the times the owner of the vehicle is sitting right behind it. They'll answer questions. They'll open the hood. They'll open the doors. They love talking about, every car has a story. I mean, you name any vehicle, talk to anybody, they have a story, whether it's their own, their dad's, a car they love when they grew up, something they pulled out of the bush and redid with 3 other cars combined. It's just an incredible hobby to get involved in, actually.
Well, and besides the show, Jerry, there's a barbecue. I see there's some awards happening as well and prizes. Can you kind of tell me about those 3 things?
Absolutely. The event is on the 18th of June, which is Father's Day weekend. We try to make it a family event. Last year, we did not have the kids zone, as we call it, because of COVID. This year, it's back. We've got my famous event called the Make and Take, where the first 200 kids can come. They'll get a plastic snap-together model to build right on the spot, and they get to take it home, courtesy of Schiller and Associates. They're going to be there with their staff. We're also bringing in big brothers and big sisters to help with that project. So the kids will actually go home with a souvenir of this car show and get them turned on to the hobby. We also have Can-Do sponsoring our Matchbox racing. We have little Matchbox cars, and we have a track that they can race it on. If they win, they keep the car. If they lose, they pick another car, race again until they find one that wins, and then they get that to take them with them. It's a completely sponsored event. There's no charge. There's no charge for participants to show up. No charge for the spectators. So it's a really good event to get involved in. You mentioned the prizes.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're hungry while you're there, there's a chance to get the barbecue as well.
Oh, absolutely. There'll be the charity barbecue. We'll have a food truck there. We have Triple S coming in, which is a concession as well. There'll be no shortage of food and treats. We do have a lady coming in with the famous mini donuts, so people won't be disappointed. We have that. And we have lots of activities going on. We have, I believe, and I can't say for sure, but we have a commitment that Camp Wainwright will be there. We've always requested something with a gun. They may not bring anything with a gun, but it'll be something of interest for the public from Camp Wainwright. We'd love to have the guys there. One of the other really cool events we do is we have a alcohol dragster, which we fire up about 3 or 4 times during the day. And a lot of people don't go to drag races. They hear the cars on the street, but they've never heard a 1,000 horsepower alcohol dragster start up. And it's a real cool event.
Well, Jerry, I was looking at the poster and you mentioned this a little bit earlier about the sponsors. How important is it for you to have all the support from the businesses and people in the community that help sponsor this event?
It's amazing. We weren't sure how we were going to do this year with COVID and how things have kind of been spinning out of control, but our sponsors have been awesome. I've got a couple of guys working on that are in the oil field, and they've had tremendous support. We have sponsors for our entertainment. We have sponsors for all the activities that we're going to do. So it's becoming a very, very special event. We have Maz Entertainment going to be there providing some music, and we've got the ATCO trailer for stage. So it's going to be a first-class event.
Well, Jerry, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. And if people are looking for more information, where can they go? And again, can you go over the dates and location and time, please?
Absolutely. Just remember, Father's Day weekend is at the multiplex. Registration is 9 to noon. The show is from noon to actually from 10 to 3 is our show, our awards and prizes. We have 20 awards and prizes this year. We even got the mayor involved. He's going to pick a vehicle and we're calling it the mayor's pick. So he's got to walk around and pick a vehicle, which is not easy when there's 250 vehicles to look at. So it's going to be an exciting day. You can call me at 780-871-1906 or go to our website, justcruising.com.
Well, Jerry, thanks so much for joining us. I am excited about this. This is going to be a great event. Nice to see it back. Good luck with everything. And thanks for putting this together. You know, people are really looking for things to get back on track after COVID. So an amazing event. Thank you so much.
For sunshine, and thanks very much for inviting us over.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
When the power goes out, it's so quiet and so loud. The wind's blowing in summer, could knock your house down. Big waves and murky waters, snow beating sons and daughters. Hold on a little longer, stronger than you know. Stronger than you know.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Jake Sharon with Canadian pop folk band called the East Pointers. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Hey Shelby, thanks for having me.
Of course, I'm sure we got some fans here in the border city for your band, so I'm glad we're able to finally be able to speak today. And now this is on the new release of your new single called Stronger Than You Know, and this was released on May 27th. Now, can we kind of start off with what this song is all about and what it was inspired by?
Yeah, so we're a few days in now. This song we wrote last year with myself and my 2 band members, Tim and Cody, and we unfortunately lost Cody just the start of this year in January. So he was a big part of the band, obviously, but a big part of this song. And it's been a bit of a process to get it together after his passing and release it, but it feels like the right thing to do, and happy to have it out there.
I'm very sorry for your loss. I know that must be hard, and it sounds like it is a vulnerable song. So are you hoping that after listeners and fans get the chance to listen to this new release, that there's a certain message that they'll get out of it?
Yeah, definitely. I remember Cody saying he was keen to get this one out just because it has that sort of optimism that people have needed over the past few years. And it's definitely taken on a whole different meaning now that Cody's passed away, and feeling all the feels. But yeah, hope people like it. Hopefully they hear it if they need it and enjoy it.
And we know that with it being released on May 27th, you know, that's still pretty recent. How has response and support been so far?
Nice response. Yeah, we're hearing from people all over the place who are liking it. And it's it's our first release since 2019. So it feels good to get some new music out there. And we're with a new label with Network, who are amazing. And yeah, curious to see where it goes. It's been fun.
Is there some future songs that you and the group are working on right now, or some past songs that Cody was on that you'll be releasing soon that you can let us know about? Or is it you're kind of taking a break right now?
Yeah, kind of focusing on the studio. We had 4 tracks finished with Cody, and we've been finishing up 2 that he was playing on. So we got a 6-track EP as part of the release plans, and not sure what the live component will look like moving forward, but we're happy to have these 6 songs and focusing on that.
And it's great to see that you are seeing that strong support and reaction from listeners. And I'm betting Cody would be proud to see that with, finally being released and how you're helping spread that message out all to your fans. And is there more on this song that you want to add on that I may have missed out on, and let us know more about it?
Yeah, check it out if you want. It's called Stronger Than You Know. And I guess the story of the song, it started when Code was in his, he lives right on the cliff on the eastern end of Prince Edward Island. And there was a massive snowstorm a couple years ago that nearly blew his house down, he claims. And he spent the evening boarding up the doors. And it just kind of sums up that feeling of panic that everyone goes through once in a while, and just getting through, and stronger than you know. That's the message, I guess.
I know you were saying before that it has been years since the band has been able to perform here in the border city, and that you have been here in Lloydminster. So hopefully you guys will be able to come back after these hard times, and we'll be able to show that support and have the fans here come and check you guys out once again.
Oh yeah, we'd love to get back. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been west, so yeah, we'd love to come see you.
Perfect. Well, it was really great speaking with you, Jake. And once again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Thanks for having me. Take care, everybody.
And off taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast. We will be seeing that 17, 18 for the next couple days. So seeing some warmer temperatures with a mix of some sun and cloud. Thursday, we will be reaching past that 20 point at 21 and 22 on Friday. So get ready. We're seeing some beautiful sunny days coming up for the rest of the week. And then this weekend, we will be seeing a beautiful weekend with 20 and 21 Saturday and Sunday, just seeing sun. So we are seeing that summer season slowly moving in here in the border city, and we will be continuing that warm streak into next week.
Thanks for that, Shelby. It's good to see that warm weather coming in. And that's all the time we have for this first hour, though. You can join us for our second hour, continuing next.